Recording. First and foremost, many thanks from all of us in Bangalore for your ready approval of the idea for a stage adaptation of Our Iceberg is Melting. Our regret is that you were not able to join us at the performances. The play was a long time in the making, but is finally going public. Would you have a message for the audiences in Bangalore?
Well, I regret deeply that I can't be with you. I think it's enormously exciting what is being done here. And I hope and have some considerable confidence that the people that are going to be able to see this are going to find it both interesting and fun, and also in some important ways very educational.
Next question. Professor Vijay Padaki, a management person himself, first talked to you about the dramatization project way back in 2011. What were your first reactions when you were approached with him with this idea?
Oh, I think my first reaction is I loved it. Vijay is a convincing guy, I'm sure that's part of it. But the whole concept of these various organizations and various expertise pulling together to produce a play with the kind of objectives that you all have just makes so much sense. And I am so interested in helping younger people, not middle-level professionals and managers, not only middle-level professionals and managers, begin to gain insights into the world and how it's changing, and the leadership role that they can play. This being a vehicle to help with that, I was just, was then, and I remain exceptionally excited.
Question 3. I think you know that the production of Our Iceberg is Melting is a convergence of multiple streams of effort at the Academy of Theatre Arts here, the Children Theatre Arts Program, the Play Development Program, the fundraising commitment to our charity partner, the Association for the Mentally Challenged, and the involvement in a major sustainability education program. What are your reactions to such a multi-dimensional project?
Oh, the reaction is very, very positive, because I think when you get these various perspectives and the expertise that these different groups will bring to helping with the production, the probability of it being better, more useful, more powerful, and really making a difference goes up greatly. So I thought it was a terrific idea when Vijay first explained it to me, and I still do today.
Question 4. One of the convictions underlying the Academy's educational outreach programs is that we must accept children as the change agents of tomorrow. If so, they must be empowered with the knowledge and methods of visualizing and managing change. This is one of the important reasons for the choice of Our Iceberg is Melting as the 2014 production. That is, for wider dissemination of your 8 principles for managing change. What do you feel about taking your change management principles to a school-going audience, student audience?
Oh, I think it's exactly what we should be doing more of. Obviously, we have a lot of evidence that this has been useful to senior level professionals and managers, middle level professionals and managers, but there is, I mean, I firmly believe for a long time that to deal with the problems of tomorrow, you have to help the people who will be living with those challenges and opportunities and problems, as many tools, as many insights, as many skills as early as possible. I mean, there's a large piece of me that would just love it if we could find more ways to help secondary education, first in the United States and then around the world, teach kids or offer younger people the opportunity to learn things that more often than not are thought of as adult material today. Young people are brighter and more capable than we give them credit, and the best time to start seeing things in a new way, learning new things that will be so relevant to shaping the future that my children and grandchildren will live in, the best time to get onto that is as early as possible. So I'm delighted that this is being offered at an audience of that age.
Question 5. Would you like to tell us something more about the 8 principles? In what situations have you found them workable other than business and industry? Also, have you had any revisions or refinements to the principles since you first published them many years ago?
In the emails that come to me daily, we have many, many examples of how these ideas have been used in every sector, in large organizations and small, and in nations around the world. I think it's because it's tapping into something that's very fundamental, that's driven mostly by human nature, not by national culture or by profit-making, non-profit-making, and how human nature plays itself out when you put people into groups. So I am totally confident that the basic principles, as you call them, are applicable in industry, high-tech, low-tech, government, NGOs, nonprofit, Korea, France, you name it, because of the evidence that has come to me from people saying they have done so and they have achieved great results. And in terms of what we've learned since then, I mean, we have learned that the fundamental principles are more important in a sense today than they were back then. But we've also learned the world is moving even faster, and there are some new things that help organizations be more agile and speedy to keep up with that world using those principles. And I've written about that in my latest book, which in English is titled Accelerate. Now, if we go into trying to explain that, I'll be talking for a half an hour and probably putting all of you to sleep, and I'm not going to do that. So,
Question 6. What made you choose Antarctica as the location for your management parable? Did it have anything to do with the threat for 2014, the trends in climate change?
how much the whole climate change issue was behind my enthusiasm for penguins and Antarctica, to be totally honest with you, I don't know, because we're never totally in touch with our unconscious. And consciously, it's just that the original book, the Leading Change book, had a picture on the cover that included penguins. And my co-author on the parable, Our Iceberg is Melting, picked that up and actually created an exercise in which he made managers, penguins, facing the very problems that are talked about in the book, as a way to get them into thinking about the situation they were in a new, fresh, better way. And that in turn led to me saying, wait a minute, there's a book here, and a very different kind of book than a traditional management book. That was the conscious, if you will, line that took us from into Antarctica and penguins. I suspect there was an unconscious line too that has to do with my own concerns about climate in the future, yes.
Interestingly, practically all that happens in our iceberg is melting is pertinent to the current debates in the area of climate change. Would you have a comment on this beyond the 8 principles?
Well, just to reinforce the conclusion that you've drawn in the very sentence of the question you've just given me, which is, there is no question in my mind that when we're talking about large-scale change, those are the most fundamental principles that we know right now. And talk about a large-scale change problem, it's hard to find one that might be more important to humanity than climate change. So it's, again, I can't prove it because I haven't dealt with specific climate change initiatives of any sort with this material. But it is just so logical that it would be totally applicable. Now, if you want me to talk more about specifically about climate change, I make it a rule of thumb to not talk about anything that I'm not a reasonable expert in. That's just the nature of me and my work and my academic background, and I'm not in that world, so I'll pass.
Question 8. The stage production is one in a long line of efforts at the Academy to strengthen the interface between the worlds of management and theater. For instance, theater and management has been found to be powerful in grasping the scope of strategic management. Would you have some comments on this cross-disciplinary perspective?
Oh, I think the cross-disciplinary perspective, and I think I commented a little bit about that 10 or 15 minutes ago, is superb. Even in a broader sense, one of the problems that we face in our world is we don't have enough interdisciplinary cooperation to attack the major industrial and social problems that we all face. And the evidence is just huge that these issues are interdisciplinary and can't be solved by even very, very bright people working from one perspective. So interdisciplinary collaboratives going after social problems is the solution, and that this is approaching things that way, I think, is very smart, and very exciting.
And can you give a thank you?
Oh, you want an ending?
Well, just for them in case they decide to put it in.
Okay. How do you give a thank you? Well, let's. You ask. You say something that an interviewer would normally say at the end of an interview.
Will do. Well, thank you very much for answering our questions, Professor Kotter. Your work has been very inspiring to all of us. Therefore, the reason for us choosing our iceberg is melting. So from all of us, a tremendous thank you for all you've done.
Well, I'm deeply humbled that you're doing this, and it was certainly my pleasure to talk to you today.